our weekly update, I just wanted to let you know that our very own Mary Piasta has been nominated for Sonoma Valley's People Choice Award. And I just wanted to say, if you enjoy listening to her every week on Sonoma Brain Trust, if you enjoy getting these legal updates that she shares, or if you've used Mary for a legal matter and you want to show your appreciation, then I'm going to put a link below so you guys can click that link and go vote for her for Sonoma's Best. Not only is she one of 3 attorneys who is nominated for this award, she is also the only woman on the list. So I'm going to go vote, and I hope that you guys will use the link below too and show her how much we appreciate her advice and her legal updates and just what a wonderful attorney she is, and the people of Sonoma Valley are so lucky to have her. So with that being said, now we can get into our weekly update. Guys, thanks for joining us on Sonoma Brain Trust. I'm Chelsie Runnings. I'm a real estate expert with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. I have my co-host, Mary Piasta. She's an attorney and partner at Haeuser, Valluzzo, and Piasta. And Daren Blonski, he is a wealth financial advisor at Sonoma Wealth
Advisor.
Why did we mess that up?
You'd think we'd actually figure this out, but we slaughter each other's names and we slaughter each other's companies every time. So Daren Blonski with Sonoma Wealth Advisors, and it's Mary Piazza, right?
Piasta.
Yeah. Piasta. We got to get that right? Got to get the Italian. Is it Italian, right? Pull through the Italianness.
Oh, no. I'm married in Italian, but Piasta is Polish. We can talk about that another time.
Whoa, Blonski. You got 2 Polish people on the show? How'd that work out?
We have a lot going on right now. We wanted to talk about the county enforcement for face masks and everything else we're seeing going on in the county, a stimulus update, and some COVID numbers, if we're getting actual facts, misinformation, what's going on. So let's dive in with Mary. Mary, give us an update on these enforcements that we're seeing and hearing about.
Right. So this is sort of a big deal with respect to any type of legislative enactment, right? People wonder, well, how is it going to be enforced? And as of last week, we finally have some clarity. Enforcement starts at really the local level. So here in Sonoma County, we have an ordinance that has been enacted as of the 10th. And what this is allowing is for a couple things. One of it is a monetary penalty for folks who are found to be in non-compliance of the enforcement health orders. So that's mask wearing, that's social gathering, and all of the things that are detailed in those orders. The monetary penalties start for a first violation of $1,000, then they go up for a second violation of $5,000 and a third of $10,000. Now, I can share a link to the order itself. It's 13 pages long and goes into not only the history behind the patchwork of regulations that we're looking at with respect to this compliance, but it also talks about how this enforcement is going to roll out. And something that is kind of unique is that there is an information hotline so people can call and report others. So now we are in a different type of enforcement procedure where you're going to have folks calling out, folks who aren't wearing masks or throwing parties and all of that. So we'll see how this rolls out. The important message to take away is that there are monetary violations, and hopefully this will encourage compliance voluntarily with the orders, and overall it can help curb the spread of COVID so we can get back to normal operations.
People are really taking this tip hotline very seriously. There was over 450 complaints on the hotline within the first 3 days. So
wow. See, there you go.
So hold up, time up. So you come out with these orders and you get 450 complaints in the first 3 days. Who's going to go out there and enforce this?
Right. It's going to be local, so people are going to be busy.
New task force of people going out and just writing tickets and fines. I mean,
Well, you know, it's sort of like I mean, I don't know, right? But I kind of think about the traffic patrol that we have here in Sonoma and the folks who issue, you know, citations for like if you park too long on the plaza, right? A lot of those are volunteers. So they sign up as volunteers to be part of, you know, the enforcement authority, and there they are, and they're, you know, little golf carts issuing parking tickets. So is that where we're going with this?
Oh man, this could be dangerous in the era of the Karens.
Just think of all the power trippers that are going to get their power trip made out on the health enforcement of COVID. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I support we need to protect ourselves and not share the air, as they say. But I mean, come on. Like, at some point, like, if people are going to risk getting sick, they're going to get sick. That's their choice.
Well, I think a lot of the complaints too were like people, or restaurants were a huge one. And servers not wearing masks and stuff. But another one was just like people out in the parks or people out and about not wearing masks. And I think maybe that's where like there's this misunderstanding. Like, do you have to wear a mask when you're out walking your dog? Or no? Like, I think there's this misunderstanding between everybody on when you have to wear a mask when you're outside and when you don't have to wear a mask.
Well, and it's very specific. It's county by county. So here in Sonoma County, I mean, there are tons of exceptions, but basically, I think the general overarching principle, so people understand this, is that if you can maintain 6 feet from folks, like, I think that you don't have to wear a mask. But as soon as you're within a smaller, you can't have the distance, then you do need to wear it. And then it's like, as you go shopping, right, you'll see that businesses have erected their own compliance. So if you're going to go into the store, you have to wear a mask, you have to wash your hands. But that is more of business mitigation measures that have been enacted for other reasons. So really, I mean, people need to just bring their masks and wear them when they're around other people. I mean, it's kind of basic, right?
I mean, common sense prevail on this one, right? If you come within 6 feet of me, I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to wear my mask. Mm-hmm. You be respectful, I be respectful. That seems to be the principle. It's unfortunate, I think, that we have to, as a society now, run around writing people tickets.
It's become so politicized. I mean,
yeah,
that's a whole nother topic we can get into a whole nother video on, but it's such a political issue, like the maskers and the non-maskers and the, you know, it's almost become like a political party versus a political party. Or what did you call it before, Daren? The no maskers and the Spanish flu or something? Yeah,
I mean, there literally was a political party during the Spanish flu that rallied around this idea that we're not going to wear masks and you're not going to you're not going to infringe on my liberty and make me wear a mask. And there's literally a political party, and it's like, great, like, you know, I kind of look at like this social agreement, right? I come in contact with you guys. If we talk and we say, hey, you're good mask, you want mask? Like, no, I'm good, you're good, whatever. Like, that's kind of how that dialogue should happen. Or no, I prefer a mask or not. Or I had a client come in the other day and he was healthy and strong, but he's like, you know, Daren, I went to a funeral and I don't know who I was around, so I'm just masking up just in case, right? Like, okay, that's totally respectful, and that's what we would want out of anybody. But, you know,
Mary,
common
you're
sense.
share a link, so we could put a link down below so everyone can look at the county ordinance, figure out what the enforcement rules are. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, so do you want me to share it, or do you want me just to link it to you?
We'll just drop it in the description below so people
can
okay. Directly. So since people are going to be potentially getting fined, we're going to really need that unemployment check to come through for some people to pay those fines. Yeah, Daren?
You would think. Well, President Trump, as you know, over the weekend came out with his executive order where he was going to extend unemployment by $400. So we were at $600. So anyone on unemployment was getting an additional $600 per week. Trump came out and said, hey, we're going to do $400. Mnuchin today came out and said, yeah, you're right. We're actually not going to be able to get that money to people. The specifics of that, I don't know. So it was a headline grabber, right? It's like, hey, can I run this market some more? I think, frankly, the current administration knows they're dead in the water unless they can get this stock market cruising and keep it cruising. That's not to be political or anything. That's just a reality, right? And as Clinton used to say, it's the economy, stupid. And I think that's that's it, right? So people need to keep feeling good. And I think that's what you're getting. You're getting headline grabbers. You got this tension between the Republicans and Democrats. It doesn't sound like now, based upon what McConnell said earlier today, that there's going to be any movement until at least September 11th, because the legislators were allowed to all go home. They're on 24-hour notice to come back. But sounds like the Democrats are pretty hard and fast on what they want and not willing to budge with it. So, if we get all the way to September without something, and then November's right around the corner. So I think it's very unlikely you get a deal between September 11th and November. And that's going to impact the markets, right? Markets are quiet now. They're slow. They usually are. They continue to go up to sideways because there's really it's just low volume right now. What is interesting, though, is we did get a very pronounced rotation in the markets. It was technology really leading these markets over the last few months. That's kind of died down, and technology seems to have pulled back a little bit and rolled over slightly after those massive earnings we had from Amazon and others a few weeks back. And now you're seeing the participation of these small cap stocks. You're seeing Dow Jones Transportation. You're seeing these laggers that have been lagging are now kicking in. And that's really driving this new leg forward with the market. It's a really healthy thing to see. It's what we want to see. We want to see that full participation. It's actually rather stupid now when you think about it, though, because the Dow Jones Transportation Index is about where it was before the crash. So you're telling me that airlines are back to business as normal? Cruise ships are back to business as normal? No. So we just know there's dislocation in this market. The reality is there's a bubble being blown, but bubbles go on longer than anyone suspects. And so you got to participate. You got to be involved. You got to keep going with it, but it doesn't make sense fundamentally.
Speaking of bubbles, Chelsie, what's going on with the real estate market?
We're kind of in our same mismatch of buyer and seller confidence. We still have so many buyers that are confident in our market right now and confident in their ability to purchase a house. And we have those sellers who are being more reserved and not really putting their houses up on the market, even though we're not seeing anything that's showing us that housing prices are dropping, especially in Sonoma County, or that the buyers aren't out there. They are out there. They're taking advantage. We currently have 107 listings on the market in Sonoma Valley. We have 22 in contract, and we didn't meet last week and go over. So in the last 2 weeks since we last met, we've had 36 places sold. So we're moving. And for the sellers who maybe are having a little fear about putting the houses up on the market, wondering if maybe we're having these massive price reductions or discounts on sales price, it's not happening. We're actually are seeing that homes are selling within 96% to 105% of their list value, meaning that they're either selling at or above what they're listed at. And that's largely due to just our lack of inventory. And as that inventory stays low, prices stay up, they keep going up. Not a bad time for buyers. I know buyers tend to think that that's a horrible time for them, but maybe you're getting a house at a slightly higher cost than what you would have a few years ago, but what you're paying to borrow the money to buy that house is so low that it's worth it for the buyers to go out there and buy these houses and overbid each other to get these houses, especially as you can work remotely and housing needs are changing and evolving with our times right now. So
does anyone know where this leaves us now with respect to the actual number of cases? How are we doing on that?
I don't think anyone knows the data. That's the thing, right? That's why the health director, whatever, resigned yesterday. And, Gavin Newsom's like, hey, you better resign because we just shut down the state for your numbers and they're not right.
So higher or lower? We
don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, hopefully we can have expanded testing and quicker turnaround and actually get some real data to support whatever needs to happen. To be totally optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, it feels to me like there's just kind of the whole testing idea has become so political that you know, there's a party that doesn't want testing because they don't want the numbers. And there's a party that wants the testing because they want the numbers to use as a weapon. And so instead of just saying, hey, here's the facts, Jack, and here's how it goes, and here's what we're looking at, and people are, you know, just spinning it. And I don't think any of the data is accurate anymore.
Well, maybe we should just get a vaccine. You should just go to Russia and have a vaccine.
Go to Russia, you guys. Let's go get that vaccine that Putin's daughter got.
Hey, Putin's daughter took it, so it must be good.
Yeah. We should go. Let's jump on a flight and fly out to Russia, get that vaccine, and we'll come back and tell everyone how good it was.
Yeah, that sounds good.
There was one disease that was like, what was it? Where they gave this vaccine for a disease and like all these people died. I was talking to my mom about it, but I forgot what it was. But it was, you know, that's the thing with any of these vaccines. I think like, yeah, maybe we need a therapeutic or a two process shot. But when cold season hits and flu season hits, oh, it's going to get interesting. Because the minute everyone starts sniffling, they're like, COVID, I got COVID. What are we going to do? And they're going to freak out.
Well, the thing that's been so confusing to me is coronavirus is like a known virus, right? That's not the new virus. It's COVID that's new. So I've been kind of confused whenever you see how many people test positive for coronavirus. Do they have like the flu, or do they actually have the coronavirus that causes the COVID?
So check this out, right? I have a client and they were very dismissive of COVID. Mm-hmm. They went and celebrated their anniversary in Cancun 3 weeks ago. Okay.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that.
Right. And they came back. He tested positive finally. He's been through a really difficult case of it. He's had it really bad. The wife wasn't that bad. She just lost her taste. She said it was the weirdest thing ever. She lost her smell, taste. But that's the reality. And I think the reality is that it impacts everybody different. Right. And so at the end of the day, you might be fine, Mary. Chelsie, you might be fine. I might be fine. But someone we love might not be fine.
And that's what my office is dealing with now. Yes, there are people dying from COVID. Yes, some of these people did not do estate planning. So then their heirs need lawyers to walk them through the probate process if the estate is of a certain size. So, you know, wear masks, people, you know, help protect your loved ones and do your estate planning. That's all I have to say today.
Even if you don't believe in COVID and you think it's a political stunt, can we just wear our masks so we can get back to normal? I mean,
right?
It's almost freaking fall, you guys, and we've been in the house since spring. So like,
right?
This was supposed to be the quiet time. Do you remember that?
Yes, this was supposed to be like the downtime. So like, do what we got to do to get back to normal.
And if you don't like your mask, you can get a cool one, like one with sprinkles on it. You know?
Sprinkles.
Yeah, sprinkles. Yay.
It was my 5-year-old's fifth birthday. We got sprinkles on our donuts this morning.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you everybody for joining us with Sonoma Brain Trust. We'll be back next week for the latest and greatest in what's happening in the Valley. We hope you are all well. We hope you're all healthy. We love to hear from our listeners. And if you're interested in being on the show, reach out and we'll all talk soon. Take care.